Lighthouses have long been beacons of hope, guiding sailors safely through treacherous waters and storms. Standing tall against crashing waves and blustery winds, these coastal sentinels carry a deep sense of mystery, solitude, and history. But beyond their guiding lights, some lighthouses hold darker secret stories of tragedy, loss, and lingering spirits that refuse to rest. The east coast of the United States, with its rich maritime history, is home to some of the most haunted lighthouses in the world. Tonight, we'll step inside these eerie towers to uncover their ghostly tales, from mournful cries on stormy nights to phantom footsteps echoing in empty halls. So, dim the lights, turn up the volume, and prepare to journey with me as we explore the 5 most haunted lighthouses along the East Coast. Whether you're a believer in the supernatural or simply love a good ghost story, these haunting legends will chill your spine and keep you looking over your shoulder. Let's begin our voyage into the unknown. The Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, standing tall on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, is more than just a beacon for sailors. It is a sentinel of stories, tragedies, and lingering spirits. Built in 1870, it rises as the tallest brick lighthouse in the United States. A commanding presence overlooking the treacherous Diamond Shoals, aptly nicknamed the Graveyard of the Atlantic. For over a century, this lighthouse has guided countless ships through dangerous waters, yet it has also borne witness to numerous shipwrecks and deaths. The souls of those lost at sea, it is said, have never truly left, and their presence continues to be felt by those who wander near its walls. Visitors and lighthouse keepers alike have long reported unusual phenomena that defy explanation. The air within the tower often shifts suddenly, dropping to bone-chilling temperatures with no apparent source. Footsteps echo through the spiral staircases, though no one is above or below. Shadows flit along the walls at dusk, vanishing when approached, leaving only the lingering sense that the lighthouse is alive in its own mysterious way. These occurrences are not isolated. They have been documented by staff, guests, and paranormal investigators, creating a tapestry of stories that blend history and the supernatural. One of the most enduring legends is that of Jonathan, a lighthouse keeper, who vanished during a fierce storm decades ago. Eyewitness accounts describe seeing a faint lantern light flicker in the upper windows during nights of heavy wind and rain, accompanied by soft whistling that seems to drift down from the tower. Many believe Jonathan's spirit remains at the lighthouse, eternally vigilant, warning ships of the dangers hidden in the dark waters below. His presence is felt not just in the tower, but also along the surrounding dunes, where visitors report sudden chills and the sensation of unseen eyes watching them. Some claim that on stormy nights, the cries of sailors lost to the sea can be heard intermingling with the whistle of the wind, a haunting chorus that carries the weight of history. The lighthouse itself, with its iconic black and white spiral pattern, seems to harbor memories of every storm and shipwreck it has witnessed. Inside, the stairwells and keepers' rooms are filled with a tangible sense of history. Those who climb the tower report feelings of being followed, cold drafts brushing against their skin, and the occasional flicker of a figure just out of reach. Some have even claimed to feel a sudden pressure on their shoulders, as though someone or something wants to ensure they continue upward to the beacon at the top. These stories are echoed by guests who have stayed nearby, many of whom report hearing faint knocks at doors or the low creak of floorboards when no one else is in the building. Beyond the tower itself, the surrounding area carries its own spectral legends. Shipwreck victims are said to wander the sands, their forms appearing as misty figures during foggy mornings. Locals speak of hearing distant cries and the splash of waves that seem unusually loud, as if recounting the final moments of those lost to the ocean. It is as though the lighthouse and the sea share a restless energy, a connection that blurs the line between the living and the dead. Fishermen, sailors, and beachgoers alike have reported sudden gusts of cold wind on otherwise calm days, and some swear they have glimpsed figures in period clothing standing near the dunes, staring out toward the horizon. Paranormal investigators have documented a wide range of phenomena at Cape Hatteras. Electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, have captured whispers and calls for help in empty rooms. Infrared cameras have recorded fleeting shadows moving along staircases and hallways with no discernible source. Some researchers report sudden drops in temperature in specific areas of the lighthouse, consistent with the experiences of visitors and staff. Even the lighthouse's foghorn, though automated, is sometimes said to sound unexpectedly, as if announcing the presence of unseen watchers. The legend of Jonathan intertwines with broader tales of maritime tragedy. The Diamond Shoals have claimed countless vessels over the years, and many of their crews are believed to linger near the lighthouse, unable to find peace. Some visitors claim to have felt unseen hands brush against them on the staircases, or sensed a presence just behind them while walking the surrounding paths. Ghostly lantern lights have been reported floating along the dunes, thought to be spirits trying to guide others away from the same perilous waters that claimed them. Despite tour, perhaps because of these haunting tales, Cape Hatteras Lighthouse continues to draw visitors. Tourists come not only to admire its towering structure and historic significance, but also to experience the stories that make the lighthouse one of the most enigmatic sights on the East Coast. For many, the thrill is subtle. A whispered wind, a flickering shadow, a cold touch that leaves the heart racing. For others, the experience is unmistakable, a direct encounter with a presence that transcends time and mortality. Some historians suggest that the lighthouse's spectral activity is tied to its history as a vital maritime guide. The isolation, responsibility, and danger inherent in lighthouse keeping may have created a psychic imprint, leaving traces of the lives and emotions of those who served here. Jonathan's story, whether entirely true or a blend of fact and folklore, embodies the enduring connection between the lighthouse and the human spirit, a testament to devotion, loss, and vigilance that persists long after death. For those who dare to climb the spiral staircase to the beacon, the view from the top is breathtaking. A panorama of the Outer Banks, the Atlantic Ocean stretching endlessly, and the shifting sands below. Yet amidst this beauty lies a subtle, persistent unease. The wind, the waves, and the cries of the past converge to create an atmosphere that is at once mesmerizing and chilling. Many leave with photographs of the view, but some claim they leave with more than memories, an impression, a feeling, perhaps even a fleeting glimpse of a guardian spirit watching over the coast. The Cape Hatteras Lighthouse is not merely a monument of brick and stone. It is a repository of stories, sorrow, and restless souls. Its grandeur and its darkness coexist, reminding us that history is never truly gone and that some spirits are bound to the places they loved, served, or perished within. The tower stands as a silent witness to countless tragedies, guiding the living while sheltering echoes of the past. Each flicker of light, each gust of wind, each shadow along the stairwell reminds visitors that the line between this world and the next can be thin. And sometimes, those who are lost at sea still find their way to the beacon. Whether you come seeking history, adventure, or a brush with the supernatural, the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse will not disappoint. Its stories linger in every brick and beam, in every wave that crashes against the shore, and in every whisper of the wind that curls through its tower. To walk its steps is to step into a living memory of dedication, tragedy, and haunting beauty, an experience that leaves an indelible mark on the mind and, perhaps, the spirit. Has seen centuries of maritime history, military conflicts, and personal tragedies, while its primary purpose has always been to protect lives at sea. Over the years, the lighthouse has developed a reputation for something far less tangible. Visitors and historians alike speak of eerie occurrences, lingering spirits, and unexplained phenomena. One of the most enduring and chilling tales involves the spirit of a young boy named Tommy. Legend has it that in the early 1900s, Tommy drowned near the lighthouse while visiting the grounds with his family. His death left a mark on the lighthouse that some believe persists to this day. Numerous visitors report witnessing Tommy's apparition near the old keeper's quarters, sometimes playing with an invisible ball or appearing at the base of the lighthouse stairs, silently beckoning for company. Those who hear the faint bouncing of a ball or a child's laughter often describe a mix of fascination and unease. As though the air itself remembers the boy's presence. Tommy's energy seems playful, yet sorrowful, an echo of a life interrupted too soon. The lighthouse itself amplifies these strange occurrences. Its spiral staircase, worn smooth by centuries of foot traffic, is often the site of sudden chills that seem to reach into the marrow. Guests climbing the tower frequently report hearing footsteps echoing behind them, even when no one else is present. Some describe fleeting glimpses of shadows moving along the walls, disappearing when they try to focus on them. These experiences contribute to the impression that the Sandy Hook Lighthouse grounds exist as a threshold between the living and the unseen, where the past continues to intersect with the present in unpredictable ways. The old keeper's quarters, now largely abandoned, are central to the lighthouse's haunted reputation. Doors that were securely closed swing open inexplicably, and personal items occasionally move without explanation. Visitors have reported feeling sudden touches, as though invisible hands are brushing past their arms, and hearing whispers that vanish as quickly as they appear. These disturbances create an atmosphere of constant tension, where the mundane act of exploring the historic structure becomes an encounter with something otherworldly. Paranormal investigators have long been drawn to Sandy Hook Lighthouse. Using electronic voice phenomenon, EVP recorders, infrared cameras, and electromagnetic field detectors, researchers have documented unusual occurrences that seem difficult to explain. Unexplained voices, sudden drops in temperature, and flashes of light in areas devoid of electrical sources are frequently reported. These phenomena often cluster in spaces linked to Tommy's legend or other historical tragedies. Tourists and history enthusiasts come to admire its architecture, enjoy panoramic views of the harbor, and learn about its storied past. Yet many leave with more than photographs. They carry stories of encounters that defy explanation, moments when the past seemed to brush up against the present. Guides often recount Tommy's tale, not simply as a ghost story, but as a reflection of the lives intertwined with the lighthouse and the enduring impact of loss on the landscape itself. The surrounding grounds contribute to the sense of unease. On foggy evenings, when the harbor is quiet, many have heard strange noises drifting across the sand and water, the faint echo of children laughing, the soft bounce of an unseen ball, or the subtle patter of footsteps on empty walkways. Some visitors report seeing fleeting figures at the edge of their vision, only to vanish when directly observed. The combination of natural elements, historic tragedy, and lingering human energy has cemented Sandy Hook Lighthouse as one of the East Coast's most compelling haunted sites. Interestingly, Tommy's presence is not often considered malevolent. His ghostly activity is frequently described as curious or playful, reflecting the innocence of a child rather than the anger or malice sometimes associated with hauntings. Those who have followed the sound of his laughter or the bounce of his ball often experience a strange mixture of awe and sorrow, sensing both the vitality of a young life and the lingering tragedy of his death. In this way, the lighthouse serves not only as a historical monument, but also as a guardian of memories, both joyful and heartbreaking. From the rhythmic crash of waves against the shoreline to the echoing footsteps within the lighthouse tower, Sandy Hook Lighthouse is a place where history and the supernatural converge. Visitors often remark on a tangible presence in the air, as though the lighthouse itself remembers every life it has touched and every tragedy it has witnessed. Tommy, with his playful yet sorrowful energy, continues to inhabit the grounds, a poignant reminder that some spirits linger, not out of malice, but because a life was left unfinished. For centuries, the Sandy Hook Lighthouse has been a beacon of safety for those navigating the dangerous waters of New York Harbor. Yet for those who walk its grounds today, it is also a gateway to the past, a place where the stories of the living and the dead coexist. Visitors leave with memories that linger, impressions of a small boy chasing an invisible ball, or a faint laughter carried on the windows that blur the line between history and haunting, and a reminder that some spirits never truly leave. Portland Headlight, perched on the rocky coast of Cape Elizabeth, Maine, has guided ships through treacherous waters since its completion in 1791. Its whitewashed walls and stately tower have become symbols of maritime resilience. Yet beneath its historic charm lies a lingering presence that has captivated the imagination of locals and visitors alike. Over the centuries, this lighthouse has seen countless shipwrecks, daring rescues, and storms that have claimed both vessels and lives. Amid these turbulent waters, legends of the supernatural have taken root, with stories passed down about spirits who refuse to leave. On a stormy night, as fierce winds battered the coast and waves crashed against the rocks below, Captain Henry climbed the tower to ensure the beacon was lit for the safety of approaching ships. Lightning struck during his vigil, and he was killed instantly. Ever since, visitors and staff have reported witnessing a figure ascending the spiral staircase, lantern in hand, as if completing the duties he could not finish in life. Some have seen his mournful silhouette illuminated by the light of the beacon, a silent guardian still watching over the Atlantic. The keeper's quarters, adjacent to the lighthouse, have their own share of strange occurrences. Former residents and guests often describe hearing footsteps in the empty rooms, the echo of heavy boots moving across worn wooden floors. Doors occasionally creak open on their own, and rooms that were closed for decades sometimes exude the faint scent of pipe smoke or brine. Some claim to hear low murmurs of conversation, as though passkeepers are still discussing the night's duties or warning of incoming storms. Visitors often feel an inexplicable chill, as though the cold ocean winds have followed them inside, or that Captain Henry's presence is near, checking the lamp and ensuring the safety of those at sea. Beyond Captain Henry, Portland Headlight has accumulated countless maritime spirits. The rocky coastline below has claimed numerous ships, and those lost to the ocean are said to return to haunt the lighthouse grounds. On foggy mornings, some witnesses report seeing shadowy figures wandering along the cliffs or glimpsing sailors climbing the rocks as though searching for their sunken vessels. Sounds of distant cannon fire, creaking rigging, and ghostly shouts occasionally rise above the crash of waves, adding to the eerie ambience of the lighthouse at dawn or dusk. Locals have long speculated that these phantoms are drawn to the steady glow of the beacon, unable to rest until their lives are acknowledged. Visitors walking the cliffside paths often recount sudden changes in temperature, with warm air giving way to unexpected cold spots. Sometimes in areas where the wind barely reaches. Some have felt invisible hands graze their shoulders or tug at their jackets as they explore the ruins of old foundations near the lighthouse. The old stone walls themselves seem to hum with energy, vibrating faintly in resonance with the ocean and the memories embedded in the bricks. Cameras and recording devices have occasionally captured unexplained anomalies. Orbs of light moving against the wind, misty forms that vanish when approached, and faint, disembodied voices that seem to echo from the tower. The lighthouse's spiral staircase is a frequent focal point for reported paranormal activity. Visitors describe the sensation of being followed while climbing the narrow steps, hearing rhythmic footsteps matching their own, yet feeling no one is there. Some have glimpsed fleeting shadows at the corners of their vision, disappearing before they can be focused on. On particularly stormy nights, the beacon's light can reflect off wet walls in ways that create ghostly silhouettes, prompting many to believe they are seeing Captain Henry himself, patrolling the tower with a vigilant eye. Even the sound of the rotating lens has been reported to take on a human-like quality, almost like the low hum of a sentinel speaking to the ocean. In addition to the tower, the surrounding coastline contributes to the haunting atmosphere. The rocky cliffs, slippery with sea spray, hide crevices and caves where lost sailors are believed to linger. Some explorers claim to hear footsteps echoing from the cliffs at night, or to see lanterns bobbing along the rocks where no human should be. Occasionally, the distant echo of a bell like the signal from a long-forgotten ship can be heard over the roar of the waves, adding to the sense of history and lingering spirits. These coastal phantoms appear both protective and mournful, as if they are tethered to the lighthouse by the very tragedies that brought them there. Local legends also tell of a woman who perished while watching for her husband, a sailor lost at sea. Witnesses report seeing a faint, forlorn figure standing at the edge of the cliffs, silhouetted against the lighthouse beacon, her gaze fixed on the horizon, as though waiting for him to return. This ghostly woman is said to vanish when approached, leaving only the feeling of sorrow and longing behind. The combination of Captain Henry, the spectral sailors, and grieving visitors of the sea contributes to Portland Headlight's reputation as one of the East Coast's most haunted lighthouses. Even staff members have recounted experiences they cannot explain. Some have woken to find rooms rearranged, lights flickering without cause, or the feeling of being watched during late-night maintenance. Others have reported hearing whispers in empty quarters, or the inexplicable scent of tobacco, salt, and rain. For those sensitive to the supernatural, the energy of the lighthouse is palpable, a dense mix of maritime tragedy, loyalty, and lingering souls who never found peace. Visitors who come during stormy weather often report the most intense phenomena. Lightning flashes can cast dramatic shadows along the cliffs, waves crashing like the roar of vengeful spirits. The sound of the beacon slicing through the fog can seem almost sentient, a reminder that this lighthouse is not just a navigational aid, but a repository of memory and emotion. Footsteps echo on the wooden floors, doors creak, and faint laughter or crying drifts from nowhere. Every element of Portland Head, like the tower, the keeper's quarters, the rocky cliff scaries, a story of tragedy, heroism, and lingering spirits. Over centuries, Portland Headlight has become more than a lighthouse. It is a symbol of endurance, history, and the unexplained. Its dramatic location and storied past ensure that each visitor leaves with a sense that they have walked among more than just history. They have felt the presence of those who came before, those who perished at sea, and those whose duty or sorrow binds them to the lighthouse forever. The glow of the beacon continues to sweep across the Atlantic, a guiding light not just for ships, but for restless souls who have made the cliffs and tower their eternal home. The combination of maritime legend, tragic deaths, and inexplicable phenomena makes Portland Headlight a focal point for anyone interested in haunted history. Whether glimpsing the silhouette of Captain Henry on the spiral staircase, hearing phantom footsteps in the keeper's quarters, or feeling the unseen brush of a presence along the cliffs, visitors encounter a place where the living and the dead seem to coexist. It is a haunting, beautiful, and deeply atmospheric landmark, one that continues to capture imaginations while casting its eternal light over Maine's rugged coastline. Buglight, officially known as the Portland Breakwater Light, may be smaller in stature than its famous neighbor, Portland Headlight, but its haunting presence is no less powerful. Constructed in 1875 to guide mariners safely into Portland Harbor, this petite, decorative lighthouse has weathered storms, wars, and centuries of maritime history. Yet beneath its charming, granite and cast iron exterior lies a series of ghostly tales that have captivated locals, historians, and paranormal enthusiasts for generations. Among the most enduring legends is that of Eliza, the keeper's wife. According to oral history and local lore, Eliza lived at Buglight in the late 19th century, tending the grounds and assisting her husband with his nightly duties. One fateful evening, a violent storm rolled in from the Atlantic. Ships were battered against the harbor's rocky shores, and despite all efforts, Eliza's husband was lost to the sea. Grief-stricken and unable to accept his death, Eliza reportedly wandered the lighthouse grounds for years, dressed in her long white gown, calling out for him. Today, visitors and harbor workers claim to see a spectral figure in a flowing white dress pacing near the lighthouse, especially during foggy nights when visibility is low and the harbor takes on an otherworldly glow. Sightings of Eliza are often accompanied by strange sounds. Some witnesses report hearing soft sobbing carried by the wind, or the distant creak of lantern doors opening and closing when no one is near. Footsteps echo across the breakwater, yet when visitors turn, no one is there. On occasion, the figure appears close enough to discern faint features. A sorrowful woman, her face partially obscured by a veil of mist, her movements deliberate but mournful. Those who encounter her often describe a feeling of profound sadness, as if the lighthouse itself mourns alongside her. Buglight's haunting is not limited to Eliza. Some locals claim the spirit of a former lighthouse keeper roams the lantern room at night. Known only as the Old Keeper, he is said to maintain the light, even though the lighthouse has been automated for decades. Visitors report sudden cold spots on the upper platform, as though an unseen presence is checking the lamp. Occasionally, a shadow is glimpsed moving along the spiral staircase, ascending and descending as if completing a nightly round. Lights in the lantern sometimes flicker, even during daytime when electricity and modern systems should prevent such phenomena. The lighthouse grounds themselves are a hotspot for paranormal activity. The breakwater, lined with granite blocks, seems to amplify ghostly presences. People walking the paths have reported objects shifting inexplicably, fishing rods tilting on their own, and small pebbles tumbling across the rocks as though pushed by unseen hands. Even animals, such as dogs brought along by visitors, react to invisible forces, growling at empty air or suddenly refusing to cross certain sections of the path. Some paranormal investigators suggest that the concentrated energy of shipwrecks, lost sailors, and centuries of lighthouse duty has imprinted on the area, creating a nexus for spectral activity. Foggy nights and stormy weather are particularly conducive to paranormal phenomena at Buglight. During thick fog, the lighthouse is said to come alive, with ghostly lanterns appearing along the breakwater and sounds of long-dead ships echoing across the harbor. A recurring report involves the sudden appearance of a small boat at the edge of the mist, seemingly occupied by ghostly sailors who vanish upon approach. These maritime apparitions are often linked to the lighthouse itself, guiding the dead safely to shore or lingering near the site where tragedy struck centuries ago. Visitors who explore the interior of Buglight also report unusual experiences. The narrow staircases and iron railings seem to hold residual energy. Footsteps echo when no one is present, and visitors occasionally feel a light touch on their shoulders or arms. Some describe a sudden sense of being watched, a sensation so strong that it forces them to leave the lighthouse prematurely. Others have captured anomalies on camera. Translucent figures near the lantern room, faint orbs drifting along the walls, and unexplained shadows that move independently of light sources. Historical records suggest that Buglight's haunting may have roots beyond individual tragedies. Built during a period of rapid maritime expansion, the lighthouse guided countless vessels into Portland Harbor, yet the harbor claimed many lives. Sailors drowned in stormy waters, cargo vessels ran aground, and accidents were common along the treacherous breakwater. Local lore suggests that some spirits remain tethered to the lighthouse and surrounding rocks, seeking solace or closure that eluded them in life. Each flickering lantern, whisper of wind, or shadowed figure is said to be a manifestation of these restless souls. Eliza's presence, in particular, seems tied to human emotion as much as the lighthouse itself. Witnesses frequently describe her appearing most vividly during evenings of heavy fog, when the harbor is quiet and the sound of waves dominates. She is often seen looking out toward the Atlantic, as though searching for her lost husband, or pacing the perimeter of the lighthouse with a sorrowful deliberation. The figure is fleeting, vanishing when approached, leaving only an echo of grief and a chill in the air. Some visitors claim that simply seeing her is enough to instill a deep empathy, a recognition of the human stories embedded in the stones of Buglight. Modern-day accounts continue to validate Buglight's reputation. Harbor patrol officers, fishermen, and tourists alike recount inexplicable experiences: lights appearing and disappearing, sudden gusts of wind within enclosed areas, and the feeling of unseen eyes following them along the breakwater. Paranormal investigators report capturing EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, that include soft whispers and distant calls, as well as temperature fluctuations that defy environmental explanations. The lighthouse, despite its relatively small size, has become a magnet for those fascinated by the supernatural, drawing visitors who wish to experience its eerie ambience firsthand. In essence, Buglight is more than a simple navigational aid. It is a repository of maritime history, tragedy, and lingering human emotion. Its ghostly inhabitants, Eliza, the Old Keeper, and spectral sailors serve as reminders of the lives shaped and lost along Portland Harbor. Each sighting, sound, or sensation strengthens the lighthouse's aura of mystery, making it a singularly haunting location on the Maine coast. The lighthouse continues to stand resilient against time, tide, and the unknown. Its small lantern still casts light over Portland Harbor, a beacon not just for the living mariners who navigate its waters, but also for the spirits who linger, tethered by grief, duty, and unfinished business. Visitors leave bug light with more than photographs. They carry stories of spectral encounters, inexplicable sounds, and a profound sense of history intertwined with the supernatural. In this way, bug light endures as both a guide and a guardian, a monument to maritime tragedy, and one of the East Coast's most mysterious, haunted lighthouses.
The St. Augustine Lighthouse in Florida rises dramatically over the Atlantic coastline, its stark white tower standing as both a beacon to mariners and a magnet for the supernatural. While the lighthouse has long served as a navigational guide, completed in the late 1800s, the structure replaced earlier versions destroyed by storms. Yet even this enduring edifice has been touched by death and misfortune during its construction and operation. Among the most chilling legends are those of the 3 young girls who tragically drowned during the building of the lighthouse. Their deaths left an indelible mark on the site, and many believe that their spirits never left. Visitors often report hearing the sound of children's laughter drifting along the grounds, particularly near the stairs in the older keepers' quarters. The laughter, light and playful at first, can quickly turn eerie, vanishing abruptly and leaving behind an oppressive silence that seems to hang in the air. Some witnesses describe the sound as almost conversational, as though the girls are calling out to unseen companions or playfully attempting to draw visitors closer. Sightings of ghostly figures are a recurring part of the lighthouse's haunted lore. Some visitors have claimed to see small, shadowy forms moving between the tower and the nearby outbuildings, dotting quickly out of sight before they can be fully recognized. Others report fleeting glimpses of pale, childlike faces peering from windows or from behind the railings along the spiral staircase. These apparitions often appear most clearly at dusk, when the fading light casts long shadows across the grounds and gives the lighthouse an ethereal, almost unreal quality. The haunting extends beyond visual encounters. Many people have felt sudden chills in specific areas of the lighthouse, particularly along the spiral staircase and in the abandoned keepers' quarters. These cold spots are often accompanied by an unsettling sense of being watched or followed, even when no one else is present. On several occasions, visitors have reported feeling the touch of an unseen hand on their arms or shoulders, a brief but unmistakable physical presence that vanishes when they try to investigate. Paranormal investigators have documented numerous phenomena at the St. Augustine Lighthouse, including unexplained lights, strange sounds, and electromagnetic anomalies. Some have recorded EVP electronic voice phenomena, sessions in which faint whispers, children's voices, and soft knocks are captured on tape. In certain areas, static interference on recording devices seems to spike unpredictably, as though the energy of the spirits interacts directly with electronic equipment. Many who explore the lighthouse during nighttime investigations report an overwhelming sense of tension, as if the building itself is alive with residual emotion from past tragedies. The lighthouse grounds are also home to other unsettling occurrences. The old keeper's house, though now empty, has been the site of numerous reports of moving objects, slamming doors, and unexplained footsteps. Visitors have described seeing shadows cross hallways or doors that appear to open and close on their own. Some even claim to hear whispered warnings or faint murmurs that cannot be attributed to the wind or passing animals. These manifestations are particularly intense near areas associated with the drowned girls, suggesting a connection between the tragedies of the past and the lingering paranormal activity. Even the exterior of the lighthouse contributes to its eerie reputation. The surrounding grounds are scattered with remnants of past construction, abandoned equipment, and weathered stone pathways. On foggy nights, the combination of mist and dim light often gives the impression that figures are moving just beyond the edges of vision. Many visitors describe a feeling of being drawn toward the tower, as if compelled to witness the spirits of the children or perhaps even interact with them. The Atlantic waves crashing nearby only amplify the haunting atmosphere, their relentless rhythm echoing the sorrow and tragedy of those who perished on sight. Some stories from the lighthouse suggest a protective element to the spirits, particularly that of the three girls. Reports include moments where intruders or vandals are startled by sudden apparitions or feelings of unease, causing them to retreat before damage can occur. In these accounts, the spirits appear to be vigilant, watching over the lighthouse grounds and maintaining a presence that both warns and preserves. The lighthouse continues to draw thousands of visitors each year, many of whom come seeking its history, scenic views, or ghostly encounters. Guided tours often recount tales of the drowned girls, unexplained lights in the tower, and mysterious footsteps echoing through the spiral staircase. Even casual visitors occasionally report experiences that cannot be explained. From hearing distant laughter when no one is nearby to seeing fleeting silhouettes in the corners of their eyes, these encounters reinforce the St. Augustine Lighthouse's reputation as one of the most haunted sites on the East Coast. Despite its operational status and status as a historic landmark, the St. Augustine Lighthouse remains a place where the past is palpable. Its white tower, sweeping coastal views, and weathered architecture provide a stark contrast to the spectral presences said to linger within. The combination of documented tragedies, lingering energy, and recurring eyewitness accounts makes it a unique location for those interested in paranormal activity, history, and maritime heritage. Ultimately, the St. Augustine Lighthouse is more than just a beacon to ships. It is a testament to lives lost, tragedies endured, and spirits that have refused to leave. The laughter of the three drowned girls, the shadows that flit through abandoned quarters, and the chill of ghostly presences all contribute to an atmosphere of haunting beauty. Visitors leave with more than memories of panoramic views and historic architecture. They carry a sense of connection to the past and an awareness that some stories, some spirits, remain ever present along the Florida coastline.
As we step away from these haunted beacons of the East Coast, their shadows stretching long into the night, one thing is clear: the stories they hold are far from mere folklore. These lighthouses are more than just stone and light. They are living monuments to the souls who watched over the seas and the mysteries they left behind. Whether you found the spirits friendly or fearsome, their presence reminds us that some histories are never fully buried. So the next time you see a lighthouse silhouette against a dark sky, remember the whispers of those long gone guiding us still, in ways beyond the eye and beyond the light. Thank you for joining me on this haunted journey. If you enjoyed this tale of spectral sightings and eerie echoes, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories that delve deep into the shadows. Until next time, keep your lights bright, your heart brave, and your mind open. The spirits are always near,